Welcome to day 1734 of What Shift You Know. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business and back and forth again. I like to keep my fingers in a lot of pies because it's kind of who I am. So today for our annual challenge, be a 365-day challenge, we're talking about the power of questions. And I think that we're going to take that topic and touch on it a little bit more maybe the end of this month, but then do No Nonsense November, followed by a month of questions and questioning and really dive deep into the power of questions and how we can use questions to absolutely positively transform our lives, right? Now, the truth is we're already experts at this. We already are expert question askers. Our subconscious, our brain, our minds our thinking is in questions. We think in questions and pictures, right? We don't think in words. Words are something we learn as a higher developmental level things. Just think about babies, for example, when they're born. When we're born, we take everything in through our senses, and on a subconscious level, we're questioning all those things, but we don't have words or language yet, right? So it's all based on pictures and questions. And then as we get older and as we learn vocabulary and we learn to speak, we start to apply words to questions. And so it's a fascinating topic. I haven't dug into it super deeply, but it'd be fun, I think, and a good personal development project for me as well as all of us in the challenge to really focus in on and take questions, which is something we're already good at and we're already doing, and use them to supercharge our efforts toward becoming and being and doing and having whatever it is that we want. So we talked about the power of questions. And then our idiom to coincide with that on the Supersize Your Business for Female Entrepreneurs was ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer. Ask a silly question, get a silly answer. And then I started digging into there's no such thing as a stupid question, because I personally believe there's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask, because the truth is, if you're thinking something, if I'm thinking something, if I'm wondering something, there's probably many, many more people, either hundreds or thousands, or even online nowadays, millions of people that are thinking the same thing. How many people had the same questions during the COVID pandemic, yet they weren't being asked? The questions we really wanted answers to weren't being asked, therefore they weren't ever being answered. And some of them were asked repeatedly and they still weren't answered because people were making things up as they went along. And that's what happens in a lot of areas and aspects of our life. But I say, let's make things up in our favor. Let's ask questions in a way that empower us and move us toward what we want, not that get us stuck in negative loops. If we ask ourselves bad questions, and again, bad and good are relative, but if I ask myself all the time, why does this always happen to me? Whenever something bad or negative happens, guess what? I'm just inviting in more bad things to happen because my subconscious is saying, hey, these bad things always happen to you, so we're going to make sure we keep feeding you and feeding that belief that bad things always happen to you. And so we can get ourselves in negative loops, negative learning loops, or waste of time learning loops, or things that aren't for us right now. Or we can choose to get ourselves in positive learning loops and positive experiences and moving us toward what we want. And one of the fastest, easiest ways to do that is change our thoughts. And one of the fastest ways to change our thoughts and beliefs is to ask a different question until we get to a better question. And all of a sudden, we'll get to the question that makes us feel awesome, and we'll know that that's a question for us. So I talked about and shared my experience with our primary question. We all have subconsciously a primary question that runs our life, like, why does this always happen to me? Mine used to be, before my sudden cardiac arrest, WTF, meaning what's wrong and what's not right about this current situation. So I was focusing all the time on what was wrong or what wasn't right instead of what could be right. And so I learned after that sudden cardiac arrest that was something that fed my challenges. And WTF was my primary question, but around that, I was asking all kinds of stifling, disempowering, bad questions in different situations that kept me in stress, kept me not taking care of myself, kept me doing things that I thought I should do instead of the things that I really needed to be doing that were right and matched who I am and how I'm supposed to show up in the world. And so I switched that out and changed WTF. And I said, okay, what would be a better question to start running in my subconscious all the time? So I switched it for what am I creating now? And whenever I caught myself thinking WTF, I'd say, what am I creating now? And if I was thinking that, I knew I was creating what I didn't want in my life. So we have the power to do that. And now every once in a while I'll say, okay, what do I want my primary question to be? What do I want the primary question for building this particular business to be? What is our driving core question in terms of who we're going to serve, how we're going to serve them, and what we're going to provide them with? And those are questions that can really, really move us toward what we want quickly. So those are my topics for today that I talked about for content creation. If I can help you anyway, ask. I am revamping and redoing a whole lot of things in my life right now, and that includes a couple of my businesses and how I'm serving other people. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.